What is going on YouTube? Hayden Schreier making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at XRP as well as Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. More specifically, we're going to be focusing on the XRP charts. As you guys know, recently we've been discussing the massive breakout within XRP that could be coming up and approaching. I made a video yesterday and the day before in regards to this potential breakout in the near future coming for the coin. More specifically, I want to focus in on XRP's charting right now and comparing it more to Bitcoin. And I want to discuss with you guys the weird comparisons that we're seeing. I know we're in some sideways consolidation right now, which is perfectly aligned with previous movements within Bitcoin and XRP. So with that being said, we want to continue focusing on these moves. It may get slow within the market in the next couple of days as expected, but when these things do tend to trade sideways, it does open up possibilities for a major run to the upside or to the downside, but more specifically to the upside. And then we'll try to figure out exactly how much profit we could be making and ways to make money off of the coin falling as well. Lastly, if you guys are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up. Remember, we do a giveaway for $25 of free Bitcoin every Friday. Today's Wednesday, so you have 2 more days to enter the raffle. All you have to do to win the $25 is comment down below #CryptoTV, as well as make sure to click the subscribe button because I will be checking. Otherwise, let's move on to today's episode. So as you guys can see, we left off with a couple of videos, and I've definitely been getting some negative comments as the markets start to dip down and retrace to lower levels. The haters start to trickle out of their computer caves and comment negativity on the channel, which makes sense, and it's great. Those are the people that basically tell us when opportunities are to buy in, and I've been using them as well as other key indicators to figure out exactly what the market is up to. So it was great to see the negativity and hype that we both had. We kind of had that both yes and no opinion on whether or not the market was going to break, which is what I was looking for, honestly. So with that being said, you can see I've made videos in regards to the massive rally coming, showing comparisons of the previous bull run to the next bull run right now. Then the following video, yesterday's video, or 2 days ago, we discussed again the previous pattern, similarities, and now we're going to do the same thing with today. Obviously, every single day that we trend sideways and we trade out on the 4 hours we watch, we end up adding more and more candle wicks, which is a great indicator as to predicting where exactly in the future we could be moving to. With this added in, we get to see how much closer we are to the end of the breakout. Now, within Bitcoin, I obviously say that when you look at the current coin market cap, similarities start to be shown. XRP flatlined out, which is huge. This is a huge sign. We have Bitcoin and Ethereum pretty much exactly the same. Bitcoin Cash fairly similar, but you can see the comparisons are fairly the same. We're seeing a lot of mixed movements right now on the market. Komodo up 21%, which is huge. Don't really know much about that. If you guys want to see other altcoins, definitely let me know down in the comments below. As you guys know, I read all the comments, so definitely do that. Now, to compare XRP with Bitcoin. Now, just to start off, you guys wanted to know more about XRP. What are we expecting to see within XRP? Now, I like to use Bitcoin, like I said, as a comparison, but for the most part, we're in a downtrend. There is a small descending channel or resistance that we have up top here, which is pretty much ultimately pushing the coin lower and lower and lower and lower. Now, you'll start to see that we're starting to see some sort of potential movement out of this. I'm just going to move this up a measly amount just to correlate with previous trends in the past. Now, we do look to be pretty much on point right now, and you can see that we are getting hit. Once again, there is a clear and obvious resistance at 27 cents, which is pretty much hugging the coin right now, and it's not letting it break lower. Now, this could be a support. We could easily move this down here, but it's in between some sort of channel right there, not letting the coin break in either direction. Now, on the 4 hour, we're starting to see some divergence right here. We're starting to see that blue band separate from the orange band, which is obviously a great sign. That's an indication that we're starting to pretty much head up. And you can see, though, we're going to get into trouble when we hit this white downtrend. When we hit this white downtrend, we're probably going to see the coin retrace lower, or we might just trend outside of it if we're still following Bitcoin. Now, I really want to spend most of the time talking about Bitcoin because I think for those of you who are involved in XRP, you must know by now that XRP and Bitcoin act fairly the same. Wherever Bitcoin swings, since it's number one with 158 billion in market cap, all the other cryptos follow it. More specifically, XRP has been following it. So we're starting to see more consolidation with XRP, and I mean within Bitcoin, and I want to show you guys in comparison where we're kind of at on the charts right now. Now, I want you guys to ignore this major little dip that we had, or correction to the upside that we had right here. I don't want to look at this. I want to consider this as if we were still in between the descending fractal on Bitcoin. You'll notice that before we had this major pop, we had consolidation for quite a couple of days. Now, if I take the date range, you can see exactly how many days it is. That's about 3 days, almost 4 days, 3 days and 20 hours. So I consider it 4 days. We're looking for an extension now because this is a wider, longer descending fractal that's probably going to break even more bullish than we've seen in the past. We're going to be expecting to see that same consolidation happening, which is pretty much what it's doing right now. So what I'm anticipating is to see the consolidation like we're seeing trend us out sideways across this like death march right here. And then you can see we're going to end up hitting one of two things. We're either going to break bullish, which I'd be very shocked to see right this early, or what would most likely happen is the correction right here. Once we usually trend sideways, we seem to correct downwards. We're looking for that correction back to the downside. Now, obviously, the second we see that correction to the downside, I will be shorting the cryptocurrency. The second we see it, I'm using DueDEX to sell and short cryptos. I highly recommend you take advantage of this too. Now you can see there's not much movement to buy or sell off of DueDEX right here because we've literally been flatlined on the coin for quite some time now. Now I did buy at $9,600 and I sold at $8,800, like all the way down at where we're at now. So I did make quite a bit of profit off that trade, but we're waiting for the next run. Now before you get involved in that next run, you should set up a game plan, getting ready and to anticipate that, which means set up an account. It's the first link in the description. I believe they give you like $60 on your sign up bonus, $5, $10, and $60 depending on how much you deposit in Bitcoin, but you can hold and leave the Bitcoin in here for the time being. And then when you're ready to buy for a long position or sell for a short position, then you can put your you can buy and commit to a trade. Now there is the option to leverage trade, which is absolutely awesome too. So this means if you deposit $1,000 and you do it 2 times, you'll get $2,000 worth of like equity in your trade, in your position, and then you can make quite a bit of profit off of here. So right now, obviously, I have cashed out for my previous trade, which you can see right here on my trade history. If you see, bought it at 96, shorted them, sold at 88, made quite a bit of profit. So I'm waiting right now. Obviously, the money's sitting here for the movement to happen, and once we see that movement, then I'll be shorting the coin and riding this puppy downwards because I'm anticipating we're going to hit here and retrace to lower levels. Now obviously I highly recommend that if you guys have not already, definitely check out my Patreon. It's the second link in the description. This is a way for you guys to gain access to all of my crypto charts here. This allows you guys to see the trades that I'm making, to stay up to date with the trends and charts that are happening, and it also allows you guys to see content pretty much before the YouTube videos pop up. And this should give you somewhat of an advantage because I don't have to edit and upload everything. You'll be able to see all that information before, and it will help you make better trades. That's the main goal I started it. So with that being said, we're going to see this consolidation and then anticipate a retracement. So moving out to the daily, you'll see what exactly I'm referring to. I'm expecting to see this consolidation where I'm looking to fill the gap. We're expecting to fill the gap right here, and then we're anticipating a run to the downside, pretty much sending the high-low MMA, or sorry, the RSI back down into oversold. When we hit that oversold, that's when I'm buying long and expecting to see this major run that we had previously. Now, obviously, once we hit this top right here, that's when I'm going to be shorting the coin. Notice every time we tend to hit this, we tend to break bearish. We broke bearish, we hit here, and we immediately fell the next day. We rose back up, hit it, and then fell the next day. So you can capitalize off these small movements here too. So the second we see another retest of this top resistance, that's another good opportunity to be buying in. Now obviously we're going to hit the daily and the 4-hour high-low MMA. So if we see this coin slightly rally up to hit here once again, expecting another pull to the downside, and we're going to capitalize off this trade. Obviously if we see a move like that, it's going to be a small percentage gain, but to give you an exact range, we're looking at about, I would say, oops, that's not the right one. I would say about a 6% gain, which is small, but it's still money to be made. If you leverage a trade off 6%, you could make quite a bit of money. If you're making 6% on $6,000, you can profit quite a bit. So even a small trade like this with a small margin that you have, you put $200 in, you leverage it on DueDEX by 25 times, and you're going to make a great amount of profit if you can capitalize off the gain. Now, obviously, there's risk. You can make your account negative and then you won't be able to use the account. So you have to consider the pros and cons to leverage trading. It's risk involved, but it's definitely an option out there for those of you who are a little more advanced in trading crypto. So to move on to Litecoin and Ethereum, this is why I'm more bearish on the markets right now, because obviously all these cryptos have to do with each other. And the fact that we're seeing a potential bearish cross on the MACD, the blue band is crossing over the orange, gives me indications that we're probably going to be retracing lower and expecting the market to dip lower. You can see we're immediately hitting the high MMA as well as this resistance on the downtrend. And you can see we're pulling back down in the coin right now, ever so slightly. We're not seeing that big drop like I'm expecting to see soon, but I am anticipating retracement to happen in the near future. Obviously, it's unfortunate for those of you who are holding Litecoin, but I'm anticipating a retracement to the downside before any sort of uptrend happens. Now, with that being said, Ethereum, which is acting independently from Litecoin, Bitcoin, and XRP, which is weird because on the current coin market cap, Ethereum and Bitcoin are pretty much identical, but Bitcoin is in a downtrend. Ethereum is in an uptrend, an ascending triangle. There's a good chance Ethereum is going to rally a little bit higher. We may see something like this and then pop downwards. I feel like this is around the same time as when Bitcoin would be bottoming out on its descending fractal. So it could ultimately all be led in the same direction before seeing a pump to the upside. This is about the 27, so it's a little bit longer. So it's going to be interesting. My focus mainly is on Bitcoin right now to see where exactly this trends outwards. And in comparison to XRP, we're pretty much trying to figure out whether or not we're going to be breaking to the upside or the downside within this coin. But that judgment will be made in the very near future because we only have, I'd say, at most 8 days before the end of Bitcoin's downtrend. So we literally have next week to be pretty much figuring out when this coin is going to make its pump to the upside, when it hits oversold on the daily. Otherwise, guys, that's going to wrap up today's episode. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Check out DueDEX, first link in the description. Check out Patreon, second link in the description, as well as make sure to enter the raffle by subscribing and hashtagging CryptoTV in the comments down below. Otherwise, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.